So I'll give an update on the UK Biobank working group. It's a bit of an unconventional working group in the sense that we are focusing on one particular data set, but we actually tackled some very generic mapping challenges as well. So how does this all start? It started with a bit of an unconventional short post from Patrick to ask, is anyone interested in mapping this data set to the OMOP CDM? And it's got a lot of attention, seen from almost 40 replies to this thread. And then start of last year, this dataset was actually selected for a rapid data partner call from Eden. And then Spiros took up the glove to kick off a working group around this. So our objective was really to align the parallel UK Biobank to OMOP conversion efforts, to share information and discuss these challenges. So there are actually multiple teams working on these conversions. Regeneron and Odysseus partnered up. The Hyve company I'm working for, we partnered up with UCL. And there were also members, people from NIH, the University of Zurich and Oxford, all chipping in on this, working on our own ETL process, but sharing progress updates and discussing common challenges and capturing the resulting conventions. And we actually captured that in the on the Odyssey forums, for which I will show some examples. Maybe first, very briefly, if you haven't heard about UK Biobank, what is it? So it's a big survey from the UK, mainly built around this baseline data, a large questionnaire at recruitment for around 500,000 persons. Almost 5,000 variables were collected, both from questionnaires, but also from lab data measurements. And also multiple visits at which these data points were collected, resulting in quite a big data set. I'm showing synthetic data, this is, but you get this whole wide table with a lot of different question answers pairs. You already see the challenge of mapping this. It's great. There's a great documentation for this. I won't go into detail, but just to show a bit what kind of different variables are in this data set. Besides this baseline data, the data is actually also supplemented with hospital EHR, primary care data, cancer registry data, and data from a death register. And those data types are actually less challenging. The main challenge was in this baseline data I just showed. Okay, so a brief walkthrough of our achievements in the last year. We actually had our first meeting in February last year. And what we started with is by prioritizing just these variables to map and to understand the complexity of the data. And this is initial draft of our approach, not the final approach, but this is how we began understanding the data. Then, we identified some challenges. One of these was that there were a lot of history of condition questions in this survey. But sometimes we had an age or a year in which this history occurred. So, how can we capture that information? And that resulted in this more detailed history of concepts. We have a history of a condition within the last 10 years or within the last 3 weeks or longer than 5 years ago. And this was added to the OMOP vocabulary. Then we also digged into the how to map these variables. And this resulted in a proposal for a wide source to concept map table. Actually worked from Christian Reich came up with this proposal. I don't think it's yet standard, but this thread is also still ongoing. Then, of course, we want to add these vocabulary, all these fields, variables, to the OMOP vocabularies, at least as source concepts. And there, the team from OHDSI, especially Alexander, did great work, first figuring out what is this whole structure, and this resulted in an actual release of the UK Biobank vocabulary in OMOP. There are over 18,000 concepts, and this also includes some initial mappings to standard concepts. So, of course, greatly aids in the mapping process itself. A minor thing we discussed was how to use the type concepts. We have quite a lot of different types, from hospital data, so the EHR, from registry, patient field survey, healthcare provider field survey, and these all represent different levels of trust in those records. So we create a convention on for what data source we use what type concept. And of course, most importantly, in the end, we map this UK Biobank data to the OMOP CDM. Just some screenshots of actually run on a subset of the data. So this is actually now largely finalized. People from Regeneron are now talking, or actually, I think also IQVIA is taking this up. Talk with the people from the UK Biobank group to see how to publish this data. But what then is the future of this working group if the work is done? Well, a logical continuation is to broaden the focus in general to registries in general. And we've seen already quite a lot of interest on that in the OHDSI forums, both from last year, but also very recently from John Duke. And this would then be something similar to what the clinical trial working group and the EHR working group are doing, and making conventions around a particular source data type. So that's our proposal. Data types could be CRF-driven registries, or actually registries extracted from real-world data, from EHR data. We're currently on a 3-monthly schedule. Next meeting is the 21st of May. So if you're interested, please come and join. And one of the first challenges would be to look at the wide format data of answer value pairs. And we already need your input there because Christian actually already kicked off a thread on that without any replies yet. So please take a look if you have an opinion on this. Christian thoroughly sets out all the challenges in here on how to map these variable value or question answer pairs to the OMOP data model. Just to explain, there are multiple scenarios there. Either the pair maps to one concept, could map to a observation concept and a value concept, or to a value as number. So how to tackle this? Well, this is something we tried in this UK Biobank mapping, but it would be good to make a general convention out of this. So to conclude, if you're interested in a registry working group, please let us know. I'll share the slides and go to this OHDSI forum thread and add your use case, why you're interested, what particular challenge you want to tackle, and then we'll hope to see you in the next call. Thank you.